Welcome. I go by Wisteria Well, and this reading is going to look at what will happen in your love life in 2023. We're going to start with some oracle cards that I have already pulled for you here. We're going to start by looking at a timeline of how you can expect your love life to unfold over the course of 2023, and then we'll look at a couple of advice cards for you. And then we will get into your tarot reading, where we will look at who or what will be most significant in your love life in 2023, what will be happening in your love life, any external circumstances that might affect your love life, and finally, where your love life will end up by the end of the year. So we have your three groups to choose from. We have group 1 on the left, group 2 in the middle, and group 3 on the right. So take a moment, pause the video here if you need to, just to let your intuition guide you to whichever group feels like it's resonating with you the most. It's completely okay to be drawn to more than one group. I will put the timestamps to each reading in the video description below, and whenever you're ready, I will see you at your reading. Hi, group 1. Welcome to your reading on your love life in 2023. Let's go ahead and get into your oracle cards, and then we will also read some tarot for you. So to start off with the overall story of your love life in the year ahead, you have the clover, the fish, the birds, and the moon. Really strong energy for you guys. I will go ahead and say, when I first started tuning into your energy, I saw a bright pink lightning bolt. So it feels like there's a really big infusion of energy into this area of your life this year. It might also be that you are also just a very dynamic, fun kind of person. So that could also just be your energy that's being reflected there. But with this clover card, there could be an element of chance involved in your love life this year. It could be a chance encounter that leads to a new relationship if you're looking for a new relationship. It could also just be that you feel like you get really lucky with who you end up with. And if you're already in a connection, it could just be that there is some kind of lucky opportunity in this connection for both of you, or that you're just entering into a really bright, positive, new phase of your connection where maybe it's like your luck is changing for the better. With the fish and the moon both being here, I am getting pretty strong Pisces vibes. There could also be air sign vibes with this birds card, so that could be confirmation for some of you. But with the fish card, this does indicate to me a connection that is growing over the course of this year. So this could be someone new that you have either just met when you're receiving this reading, or that you're about to meet this year through a lucky or chance encounter. Or again, this could be your existing relationship growing and thriving over the course of the year under really lucky circumstances. And with the birds, I really sense that communication flows easily and freely between you and this other person. I feel like the two of you can just kind of joke around together. You really get each other. You can tell each other anything. You can confide in this person and they confide in you. You might even gossip a little bit together, maybe about a shared work situation or shared friends or something like that. Or even, I'm getting for some of you that you might binge watch the same reality shows together, and you might kind of jokingly roast to the people on the shows together. And it just seems like the two of you have really fun, really stimulating conversations. But I think it goes deeper than that as well. I think that you're also able to really mentally and intellectually stimulate one another. And I feel like you have a lot in common intellectually, and you're both probably very witty, very quick-witted. And I think that you both have trouble normally meeting other people who can keep up with you intellectually, which is not to say that you're like a snob or anything like that, but you're very communicative and very expressive, and your mind works so quickly that it's like you have trouble connecting with other people who can keep up with you. And I think that that's true for both of you. And I think that in each other, you finally find someone on your level. And so I think that that's really nice for both of you. And you had an extra card come out, the Moon, and this is a very romantic card. So to me, this is just underscoring that there is a lot of romance underneath all of this, even though you do have a very like easygoing, comfortable vibe between the two of you. Like there is a foundation of friendship underneath this relationship. Even if you weren't friends prior to the relationship, you might have been, but it could also be that as the relationship grows, a friendship grows along with it, which is very, very supportive and very healthy. But the Moon card is indicating that there is a lot of romance in this connection. And you might also get the opportunity this year to have romantic times together. And it could happen through very lucky circumstances. It could happen totally by chance or by a synchronicity that maybe you get to take a trip together, or you get to go have just like a really romantic, possibly even luxurious experience together. However, I am also getting the word admire. So I think that this is also representing that you really admire each other. This is going to be someone who really admires you and that you admire in return. So I think that if maybe you're watching this, especially if you're one of the people who has just met this person, if you're watching this and you're wondering how this person is feeling about you, I definitely see that they are looking at you through a romantic lens. So I think that you have a really deep appreciation for each other in this connection. And that's a really beautiful thing. This seems like a really beautiful connection for you this year, Group 1. Again, if this is your current relationship, what a beautiful relationship. And it looks like you are going to have a really beautiful year of your relationship flourishing and growing, and even getting to deepen your communication together, and possibly even get an opportunity to spend some more romantic time together that perhaps you weren't expecting. And if this is a new person coming into your life, this is going to grow into a bigger relationship for you, and the two of you are really going to hit it off, really going to connect. And once again, there will be the romance. This person will admire you for sure. So before we get into your tarot, let's look at your oracle advice cards for this year. For your mantra for the year ahead, I'll hold this here so you can screenshot it if you want to save it, but it says, "The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work." So I'm kind of getting two messages with this. The first one is that if you have been looking for love or looking for a connection, or if you have been waiting for something to happen in this connection, if this is someone you already know, this is telling you that the more you just surrender and don't hyper focus on it and just kind of let it happen in its own time, the more easily this is going to finally come together for you. Because if you're feeling really tense and impatient about when something is going to happen, it causes you to approach it with that energy of tension. And that can actually make things more difficult. And it certainly makes your experience a lot less pleasant because you're experiencing that sense of discomfort. So this is telling you that it's okay. Like, you don't have to feel like all the pressure is on you to make this happen or to seek this out, because a lot of it is going to happen by chance anyway, and it's going to be kind of a lucky break. For those of you who are already in a relationship with this person, I feel like maybe things in your life in general, and this could be a life that you share with this person, but things maybe in other areas of your lives have been maybe a little frustrating or a little challenging, or just not going the way that maybe you would prefer. It could be that maybe you've been waiting for this relationship to grow to a new, deeper level, maybe a new level of commitment, and maybe you're wondering when that's going to happen. Or maybe you've kind of felt like the romance has gone out of the relationship, something along those lines. But again, this is telling you that you're going to get a lucky break with that this year, and the relationship is going to grow. So if you've been wanting this relationship to grow to a new level, I do see that happening. If the two of you need to kind of like reconnect and re-energize your connection and kind of just renew the lines of communication between the two of you, if things have been really heavy in your life, I see you being able to reconnect with your person in a really lighthearted way this year, and kind of be reminded of what you love about each other and what brought you together in the first place, and being able to just laugh together and enjoy the romance of your connection. So again, that is something that is going to happen probably by chance. So it's not something that you need to stress over or try to make happen, because it looks like the universe has that coming together for you and coming into alignment for you already. And for your other advice card for the year ahead, you have connect. And I think that that makes perfect sense with these other cards that have come out for you. This is a year of connection. It's either a new connection, if that's what you're looking for, or it is deepening and enriching your existing connection. So before we get into your tarot, I will just read from the guidebook that goes with this Pythia Botanica Oracle. Bindweed is connect, a time to bid reclusion adieu. Invite loved ones back in. Behold your entanglements and build cobwebs of synergy. You have never been alone. So some of you might have been wanting love to come into your life, but at the same time, you might have been keeping yourself isolated. For others of you, you might be in an existing relationship where you feel like you've become a little isolated from each other. So that just gives a little more context, which will hopefully be confirmation and help you as you're looking at your year ahead for your love life, because it does seem like whatever this isolation is, it feels like it is coming to an end this year. So if this is something that has been an issue for you, I do see that changing significantly this year. And you start off with the Clover as your very first card, and that is a very fast-moving card. So you can expect this to change fairly quickly, I would say. So let's go ahead and get into your tarot. And we're just going to get a look at who or what will be most significant in your love life in 2023. What will be happening in your love life in 2023. External circumstances that are impacting your love life in 2023. And finally, where your love life will end up by the end of 2023. So for who or what will be most significant, you have the Two of Swords for what will be happening. You have the Seven of Swords in reverse for external circumstances that are affecting your love life. You have the Daughter of Cups. And for where your love life will end up by the end of this year, you have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. For your underlying energy, you have the Two of Pentacles. Some of you are either resisting making a change in your life that would impact your love life in some way. It might even have to do with your love life, especially if you're in an existing relationship. Others of you are struggling to cope with changes that are happening. These might be things that are outside of your control, and it might seem like you are just completely overwhelmed by these things. And this could be adversely affecting your love life or any relationship that you might already be in. With the Two of Swords being here as what is most significant in your love life this year, I do think that you are breaking out of some kind of stalemate. Some of you might have been putting off making some kind of decision to make a change, and this year it's finally happening. I'm kind of hearing the phrase like ready or not. Please don't be alarmed by that. It's not a threat, but it's basically just saying like this change is going to happen whether you're ready or not, and it's going to end up being not so bad. This is what that clover card was representing. It actually ends up being more of a lucky break. And if you've been really overwhelmed by changes that are just getting thrown at you constantly, I feel like that has been keeping you at a stalemate too, because you've been so focused on just surviving that that's all you've been able to do. You haven't really been able to focus your attention on anything else. And so you're breaking out of that stalemate this year. And once again, you're getting some kind of lucky break that enables you to finally restore your equilibrium and not be having to just take things as they come quite so much. I feel like some of you have not been really able to put the effort that you would like into either looking for love or your existing relationship, because you have either been avoiding making a change that needs to be made, or you've just been having to deal with so much change and it kind of feels like chaos in your life that it has just kept you at this stalemate. But you're breaking out of that in 2023. So breaking out of that stalemate is going to really shake things up for you. I also, with the Two of Swords, I do interpret it a lot of the time as trusting your own inner guidance and shutting out external distractions. So that is also resonating if you have a lot of external distractions that are preoccupying you all the time. It's going to be really significant for you this year to make time, even though I know it can be hard sometimes, but to make time to shut out those distractions and just really get clear and honest with yourself about what you want and what you think and how you feel. And if you have been avoiding making a decision that could lead to a change, it's kind of the same message. Don't be distracted by other people's opinions. Don't be distracted by other things in your life. Some of you might have actually been keeping yourself distracted by other things in your life and keeping yourself busy in order to avoid having to make some kind of decision. But this is telling you that you have to get honest with yourself again about what you want and what you really feel. And as soon as you're honest with yourself about that, you'll be able to make a decision, even if it's scary. For what's happening in your love life this year, you have the Seven of Swords in reverse. I feel like some truth is coming out. This probably isn't necessarily anything negative. It's just something that either you or someone that you're connected to has maybe been keeping to themselves, maybe not expressing for some reason. It could have to do with this change or decision that has been avoided, or a lot of changes that have been happening. It could be that someone just hasn't been honestly speaking their mind. One of you might not be happy with some circumstances in your life and you might not have been speaking up about it. Or you might have a preference about what decision you want to make, but maybe you've been keeping it to yourself and not sharing it with your partner, or vice versa. The energies can be flipped either way, but someone is finally opening up and speaking their truth and gaining more clarity this year. I also get the sense for some of you that someone might be revealing to you that they have feelings for you when they've been previously keeping it a secret. It's also possible for some of you that you've been in separation with this person. Maybe they ghosted you. Some of you might have someone who had ghosted you or things had ended. You might have that person coming back this year and finally being more honest with themselves and with you. And they might want to express things that they had never expressed to you previously, and the truth can finally come out. But there's definitely going to be more honesty and clarity happening in your love life this year. For external circumstances affecting your love life, you have the Daughter of Cups. Some of you could be conceiving a child if that is something that you want and that you're open to. Or some of you could be bringing a child into the world. And it could very well be a little girl. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but you could be adding to your family or starting a family in the year ahead. Again, only if that's something that you want. But I would definitely say this could be a very fertile time for you. So just keep that in mind and take any necessary steps that suit your lifestyle. This card could also indicate that children, and maybe a child in particular, could figure prominently in your life in the year ahead. It doesn't necessarily have to be your own child. This could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. It could also just be a younger person, not necessarily a child, but someone who is just embarking on their path, who is maybe needing some guidance or almost like mentorship. And you or a person that you are involved with, maybe your partner if you're in a relationship, one of you could be really helping this person and kind of serving as their mentor or serving as almost like an unofficial foster parent, maybe. And it almost feels like if you are in a relationship, it feels like the two of you are maybe doing this together. This could even be a friend of one of you who is kind of a young soul, one of those people who is just naturally very innocent. They might get mistaken for naive, although they're not necessarily naive, but it does feel like they're just a very gentle spirit and they're very young at heart, even if they're not actually physically young. And this person might be visiting you this year. They might need a place to stay for a while, or they might just be figuring prominently in your life. If you haven't yet met the person that you're going to end up in a relationship with this year, this could be a mutual friend who facilitates the two of you meeting. They might do it intentionally, like they might try to set the two of you up, or it might be totally unintentional. It could just be that one of you has something going on with this friend and the other one happens to be there, or you just come together through a mutual friend somehow. That's a really big possibility if you haven't met your future person yet. But again, for a lot of you, especially if you're already in a relationship, this could be a friend that both of you share, and they might just be playing a really big role in your life this year for some reason. They could also be hooking one of you up with like a new career opportunity or a new project to work on or something like that. Because you were getting that message of like a lucky break earlier in your reading. So this person could be facilitating a lucky break for you. And they could simultaneously be someone that you help out or that you have helped out in the past. And then they end up hooking you up with like an opportunity to travel somewhere or to have a really nice romantic experience together, or maybe even to improve your life situation in some way. I feel like this person could lead one of you to a new job that would make both of your lives a lot easier. And it could even involve relocating, or it could just involve a drastic improvement in your lifestyle. But it's something that makes things a lot easier for you guys. And this person might not necessarily be someone that you would expect to have access to that kind of opportunity, but it just kind of happens by chance. That's really what I'm sensing here. So there could be a mutual friend or even just someone in your network of colleagues, or just someone that maybe even like a neighbor or someone that you just kind of run into from time to time. It really feels like there could be a big synchronicity with this Daughter of Cups person for some of you. And this card can even be representing more than one person in your life, because this is representing an archetype. And usually if there's an energy of an archetype that is very active in your life during a certain period of time, it will often manifest itself through multiple people as well as yourself, because energies tend to reflect one another. So this could even be more than one person. But watch out for this energy of people who are just like very gentle souls, like very gentle spirits. They might even come across as being a bit childlike and very innocent, but they're actually very intuitive and very perceptive with their feelings. They're usually very sensitive people and very expressive and creative. If you know anyone like that, or if you encounter anyone like that in the year ahead, this person could play a pivotal role in either leading you toward a romantic connection or helping to improve your life within an existing romantic connection by giving one of you an opportunity. And this might also be someone that you're able to help out in some way at the same time. What your love life is like by the end of this year, you have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Someone is letting go of control and being willing to just let change happen or to take a chance. This could be you, or this could be your person, especially if someone has been at a stalemate about making a decision or making a change. I sense that by the end of the year, they have kind of released that rigidity around sort of being resistant to change or resistant to making a decision because of the change that it might bring. If this is you, I feel like you're really opening yourself up by the end of the year and being more willing to take a chance on something. For those of you who are already in a relationship, I feel like this is more, you've had so much going on in both of your lives that it has made you maybe a little bit controlling, even if you didn't mean to be, or this could be your partner, so take it how it resonates. But it's like, it's been all that you could do to just try to maintain some semblance of order and control and also security. Maybe you've been really concerned about your material security and whether or not you were going to have the things that you need in life. And again, I really sense some relief finally coming in that area by the end of this year. But I feel like the relief that you get is going to require you to relinquish that sense of control at least a little bit in order to take a chance on a new opportunity or a different way of doing things. And so I sense that you and your partner are able to kind of get out of this habit that you've been in of just trying so hard to maintain the status quo and maybe being in a little bit of a rut. I feel like you're able to break out of that by the end of 2023. So I really sense like this beautiful sense of just release, I guess you could say, like just releasing any control that you were trying to maintain over what can't really be controlled anyway. I think that it's really just a lot of stress off of you when you finally kind of just loosen your grip a little bit on life and aren't in survival mode so much, and you're able to finally kind of enjoy life again. So that's what I see for you in 2023, Group 1. Thank you so much for being here. I think I am going to leave your reading here. I really appreciate you. Thank you for checking out my channel. I hope to see you at your next reading, and Happy New Year. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to your reading on your love life in 2023. Let's go ahead and get into your oracle cards, and then we will read some tarot cards for you. So for the story of your love life over the course of 2023, you have the Bouquet, the Gentleman, the Anchor, and the Mice. This is a very unusual card in this position. It's like everything is going great, and then you get to this Mice card. But we'll get into your other cards in just a moment, and it'll shed a little more light on this for you. So with the Bouquet and the Gentleman, you have someone making you a romantic offer this year. And this is probably someone who is naturally very attractive, very personable, very friendly. This is probably someone who has a well-developed sense of romance and knows how to make a gesture. At the very least, it feels like this person is approaching you from a very heartfelt, genuine place. And it seems like this person has somewhat of a sensitive side. With the Anchor, I feel like this person is wanting to offer you stability. They're wanting to offer you something long lasting. They are probably a pretty stable person in general. However, with this Mice card being here, they might feel like their stability is somehow in question this year. They might be facing threats to their stability. This year, they might not have the same stability that they always did previously, or they might not yet have the stability in life that they would prefer. It's also possible, and this was the biggest impression that I got when I pulled this Mice card, is that whatever offer this person makes you, you see it as a potential threat to your own stability. I feel like that is going to be the most likely scenario for you, group 2. Something about what this person is offering you. It's going to take you out of whatever you had already previously established in your life. And I think that that causes you a lot of anxiety. And I think you also have a lot of anxiety about making a commitment because you're afraid of what could go wrong in that commitment. Now, I will also offer this up. The Mice can also represent outside influences that are draining your energy. So there could be a lot of people or situations outside of this connection that are maybe opposed to it or in conflict with it, and that could just be something that you have to contend with in the year ahead. It's also possible that there could be a lot of small problems that you have to face throughout the year ahead, and it could be very draining. It could be very draining on your energy. It could even be draining on the stability of this connection. But I do get the sense ultimately that this is something with the potential to be real and long lasting and ultimately stable. You might be facing some challenges or frustrations or anxieties this year, but with the Mice, these are small things. They're very small things. And in the end, I don't think that they are going to significantly impact the integrity of this connection. This feels like a very real and sincere connection. And for your advice cards, you have Grow Together, which to me indicates that this is someone that you can build a future with if you so choose, or build a strong and stable, lasting connection. And for your other advice oracle card, you have Happiness is My Birthright. And what this tells me, again, is that this Mice card is mostly representing some fear and anxiety on your part. That if you have something good, or if you build something good with this other person, that something could go wrong, or it could be taken away, or you're just focusing on all of the potential downsides. And this is telling you that you have a right to be happy, and you have a right to not to go all constitutional on you. I'm here in the US, but you have the right to pursue happiness. You really do. And that is your advice for the year to come. So I do feel like you're getting a romantic offer from someone this year, and it seems like it would be in your best interest to pursue this connection with this person. I do sense that for whatever reason, you have a lot of anxiety around it and probably some hesitation about it, but ultimately you should do what's going to make you happy. And before we get into your tarot, let me just read to you from the guidebook about this Grow Together card. Comfrey is grow together, a card that appears in times of change for those close to us. A waxing moon need not lead us to wane. Wax together, bind and wind, pull your weight and climb. Comfrey is a card of both great challenge and romantic capacity. So don't let any challenges or setbacks or external distractions get in the way of this connection this year, because it seems like there is something here with you and this person. This person might be wanting to build a life with you or start a relationship with you, but they might be going through some personal challenges. They might be going through a period of instability in their life, but I get the sense that this is out of character for them. I don't think that they are normally an unstable person. As a matter of fact, I think that they're normally a very stable person. And I think that they will ultimately restore their stability. So maybe give them the benefit of the doubt if they're going through some challenges and they're at a little bit of an unstable time, either when you meet them or when they make this offer to you. And if you're having any fears or anxieties about what the future might hold for you and this person, I think that you are meant to face the future together. So let's go ahead and get into your tarot now, and we're going to look at who or what is most significant in your love life this year. We're also going to look at any external circumstances that are having an impact on your love life this year. We're going to look at what's happening in your love life this year. And we're going to look at where your love life will end up by the end of this year. Who or what will be most significant in your love life this year? The Seven of Wands. What will be happening in your love life this year? The Hanged Man in reverse. Any external circumstances affecting your love life this year? The Ace of Pentacles. And where your love life will end up by the end of the year? The Nine of Cups. The Hanged Man is the card of Pisces, so Pisces might be a confirmation within your love life this year. Yeah, the Ace of Pentacles can represent a proposal, so that is just emphasizing the messages that were already coming through. Even if you're not a traditional relationship person, this doesn't have to be a traditional proposal. It can just be whatever is relevant to your situation. It could be a new level of commitment. It could be moving in together. It could be wanting to make a relationship official if this is a newer connection. But there is some kind of formal gesture being made, and that's showing up in your cards. Now, since I went ahead and started talking about the Ace of Pentacles, even though I'm reading these out of order, I will also say that there is going to be a material opportunity for one or both of you this year. It could be financial, or it could just be something to do with your living situation, something like that, but it's something tangible. And I feel like you're needing to pursue this new opportunity, and it might involve kind of taking a chance on something. I feel like this person might be wanting to make a commitment to you at the same time that they are starting a new job or a new career or making a big career move, something like that. But the Ace of Pentacles is the seed of potential that can grow into something bigger, something very abundant. So just know that either you or this person are just at the beginning of this journey, and it might not seem like much right now, but it does have the potential to grow into something much bigger. For who or what is significant in your love life this year, you have the Seven of Wands For some of you, this person might be expressing their feelings to you for the first time, or they might be speaking their truth to you in a really significant way, like maybe telling you that they want to take your relationship to the next level, or that they want more commitment with you, or just that they want a relationship with you, period. I feel like this is a person who naturally has a highly developed sense of integrity. This is someone who always tries to do things the honest way and the right way. And I think that that is something that you really value and that really appeals to you about this person. This person might have to compete for your attention. They might just be competing with other circumstances in your life. Or they might literally be competing, like if this is a new connection and you're just dating, they might feel like they have a lot of competition. And that could be vice versa as well. Like if this is a very attractive, romantic type of person, you might feel like maybe you have a lot of competition for their attention. But it seems like you are the one for each other. Like you're the only one that they have eyes for, and they're the only one that you have eyes for. So I definitely think that that's mutual. And with the flame on this card, I'm getting that there is quite a spark of attraction between you and this person. If this is someone you're already in a relationship with, this is definitely a year where the flame of passion is still burning alive and well between the two of you. So that is definitely something that you can look forward to this year. With the Hanged Man in reverse for what will be happening in your love life, for some of you, if this is someone that you've been in separation with, I feel like they could be coming back out of that separation and expressing how they really feel to you and what they really want with you. They might feel like they're finally able to make you the type of commitment that you deserve. If this is someone that you already know, but they just haven't made a move toward you yet, I feel like they've been holding themselves back from making a move toward you. Maybe because they felt like they had to vie for your attention, and they might be the type of person who's a little intimidated by that. But again, I get the sense that they're coming out of that this year, and their perspective is really shifting as well. Like maybe they had been really pessimistic about trying to approach you because they felt like you wouldn't prefer them to all of the other good things going on in your life. But maybe their perspective is shifting and they're finally getting the nerve to approach you and become part of your life. For those of you who are already in a relationship, once again, there could just be a big shift in perspective that's happening this year in a really positive way. One of you could be opening up to the other about something that maybe you never said before. With the 7 of Wands, I do get the sense of kind of bringing your truth to light in some way. So even if you're already in a relationship with this person, there might be something that they've never quite expressed to you or that they've never quite told you. This could also be someone that you're already in a relationship with, again, making a proposal to you to take the relationship to a new level of commitment. It could also be that you're having a shift of perspective in this relationship because of an opportunity that's coming up for you to pursue together. So if you are feeling any kind of anxiety or hesitation about this opportunity or this commitment, again, with the Hanged Man in reverse, I feel like you're going to have a shift in perspective about that over the course of this year. And I think that you're going to be able to get past that fear or anxiety. And with the 9 of Cups as your outcome for the year, where your love life is going to end up by the end of 2023, you're going to feel like your dreams are coming true by the end of 2023. This is the wish fulfillment card, and this is what's coming out as the last card of your reading. If you're worried about what this commitment or opportunity within this relationship is going to mean in terms of the impact it will have on your life, you individually are going to be very happy by the end of this year. So you're going to be happy with the way that things end up. This is not going to detract from your happiness at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's going to add significantly to your happiness and also your sense of emotional fulfillment. And whether this is a new person for you or someone you're already in an established relationship with, by the end of this year, you're working toward a shared dream. So it looks like a really wonderful year ahead for you in your love life group 2. And I think the only thing that you're going to have to contend with is maybe some external distractions and maybe some anxieties. But again, if you can kind of shift your perspective on those things and just focus on what's really important to you and what really brings you emotional fulfillment, I think that by the end of this year, you are going to be in a very, very content place. So I'm going to leave your reading here. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and I will see you at your next reading. So for now, I will just say Happy New Year. Hi, Group 3. Welcome to this reading on your love life in 2023. Let's go ahead and get into your oracle cards, and then we will read some tarot for you. So for your oracle cards, you start with the ring, you have the cross, you have the book, and you have the snake. And I will go ahead and look at your other two as well. You also have reflect, emit. And as your final advice oracle card, you have when I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. Lots of proposal energy in these readings. One of the other groups also had some strong proposal energy going on, and you have the ring. You have some different circumstances surrounding the ring, and we'll get into it. I'm not going to rule out the possibility of a commitment. And this is coming up as your first card, so this might actually be a connection where you're already in a commitment, or this is something that has just recently come together into a new commitment. I'm not getting a lot of single energy with this group. I'm not gonna lie. This is the first group where I feel like everybody at the very least already knows this person and has already had some level of involvement with this person. So again, there could be a commitment here. However, looking at the other cards, the ring can also represent recurring cycles. And having it next to the cross, this can mean a connection that feels destined or like fate, like something that just keeps returning no matter where life takes you. Sometimes this could feel challenging. This could be a connection that feels challenging at times. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. We'll get more into the specifics when we get into your tarot, but the ring in this context could mean maybe like an on again, off again connection, or a connection that just continues coming back around in your life. This could also be someone, again, that you're already very committed to, that you're in a commitment with, and maybe there are challenges that you're facing together. With the book, there could be hidden things that previously were unknown to one or both of you that are coming to light this year that have to be faced. However, I will also say with the book, I do always get at least a little bit of a sense of formalizing something, like making a formal record of something. So this could also indicate another level of formality in your commitment this year. It's also possible that one of you is studying, or that you have a profession that requires a lot of research, something like that. But if one of you is in school or you are heavily involved in your profession, that could be a challenge that the two of you are facing in the coming year. And finally, you also have the snake. The other two groups ended up with 4 cards because 4 cards just popped out. So I decided to pull 4 cards for you guys as well so that you wouldn't feel left out in case you check out one of the other groups. So with the snake card, I'm not going to call this a third party energy yet. It is possible that there could be some energy of temptation outside your connection in the year ahead. However, this does not necessarily even have to be another person. It could be temptation to spend a bunch of time playing video games and not spend time together. It could be temptation to party, which could have an adverse impact on your life, like your shared life and your commitment. It could be temptation for misuse of substances. So the snake can represent a lot of different forms of temptation. The snake also does not have to mean temptation in the traditional sense. The snake is traditionally a symbol of wisdom. So this can also indicate gaining a new level of wisdom throughout the year. It could be that the challenges that you go through in this connection this year are going to lead you into a greater sense of wisdom about life. It's also possible with this snake, because the snake can be a very sensual energy. It could be that one of you in this connection feels really torn between your obligations and this connection. So it's possible that this connection could be the temptation, especially if one of you has like religious or cultural pressure to not, I'm just going to come out and say it, to not have sex before marriage or something like that. That could be coming up as a challenge in the year ahead. You might have different cultural ideas about expressing your sexuality, and that could be causing maybe some tension in this connection this year. Or again, it's possible that one of you is having to really keep your head down and stay focused on your career or your course of study. And it could be that the connection itself almost seems like a form of temptation. And so that can cause quite a bit of tension as well if one of you feels like you're getting treated like like you're just a distraction. So it could be maybe a little bit of a heavier year. We'll get into your tarot in just a moment and get some more details, but those are the possibilities that I'm seeing for you in these cards. And when I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. That is telling me that this might be an on-again, off-again connection. And so surrendering to what is in the present moment is really valuable for you this year. It's really important to surrender to whatever the circumstances are, not in the sense that you're giving up, but just in the sense that you're accepting it for what it is in that moment. Not that things can never change, but it's important to have that acceptance, because that way you're not fighting against what's happening, and that enables you to navigate the situation with more ease and hopefully less suffering or less struggle. And so again, same advice basically applies. It's really important to have that sense of surrender and acceptance in the year ahead. And we're going to really quickly look at the guidebook for this Reflect Emit card before we get into your tarot. But I will just quickly tell you my intuitive impression of this card, Reflect Emit, is the two of you are really mirroring each other in this connection. You probably have a pattern of that, and that's really active this year. So if one of you is really stressed out and frustrated, the two of you are going to just bounce that energy back and forth off of each other. And that's where surrendering also comes in. When you feel like the two of you tend to escalate each other, like let's say one of you is going through a tough time, and so the other one starts mirroring that, and then you just end up maybe stressing each other out or amplifying each other's anxiety. Surrender is a really powerful tool in those moments where you're like, okay, I'm just going to accept the situation for what it is right now and just accept whatever we're going through and whatever they're struggling with, and just accept it for what it is, rather than trying to kind of swim against the current, I guess you could say. And I think that that will really help deactivate that tendency to maybe like escalate each other's emotions. So the guidebook says, Beth Root is reflect emit, when the reader must adopt the powers of those surrounding them as their own. Possess the brilliance of your coven and beam it back upon all adversaries. Be the bearer of a blinding amulet. You know, something that just occurred to me is that sometimes the snake represents envy. And I think for some of you, someone in this connection is pursuing education or a career path, and maybe the other one is feeling a little left out, but also maybe, no judgment, maybe a little jealous, because you're both intelligent, capable people in this connection. And some people pursue traditional avenues of utilizing their gifts and their abilities, but that's not the only way to utilize your gifts and abilities in life. So whichever side of this you fall on, whether you're the one going the more traditional route or you're the one who's maybe like, well, you know, like, where's my life path going to take me? Or you might even be thinking like, well, I could do that, or I should be doing that. And this is telling you, like, you don't need to be jealous because you possess your own gifts and abilities. It might not be the exact same ones that this person does, but whatever you find yourself possibly envying in someone else is something that you actually already possess yourself. You're just not utilizing it. So that's just something to keep in mind this year. If you see that happening in yourself, or if you see it happening in your partner. And if it's happening in you, this is basically telling you, like, take those gifts and abilities and start utilizing them. Like, you know, and again, maybe you don't go a traditional path, but you can find ways to utilize what you have to offer to the world. And if you feel like maybe it's tough for your partner seeing you pursue something in your life that you're working toward, not that this has to be your job, but if you want to be supportive, you could remind them that they have all of these great things about them as well that they could share with the world. Again, even if it doesn't mean going a traditional path, but they can focus on what is so wonderful about them and what they bring to the table and what you love about them so much. So that might also be something to keep in mind with this as your advice card. And in a more general sense, I feel like this card is just reminding you to maintain your integrity in the year ahead, because there might be some challenging times and there might be some curveballs and surprises that life throws at you in your love life. But this is telling you that no matter what happens, always show your best side. So that being said, let's get into your tarot and let's start getting some more detail about what specifically all of this pertains to in your love life in 2023. We're going to look at who or what will be most significant in your love life this year, what will be happening in your love life, external circumstances that might affect your love life, and where your love life will end up by the end of the year. So for who or what will be most significant, you have the Five of Pentacles. For what will be happening, you have Temperance. For external circumstances, you have the Son of Swords. And for where your love life will end up, you have the Four of Wands. Temperance is the card of Sagittarius, so Sagittarius could be a confirmation in your love life this year. So I said earlier that you started off your reading with proposal energy or engagement energy, some kind of commitment energy, and for your ultimate outcome for this year, you have the Four of Wands, which traditionally can represent a wedding. At the very least, it is a milestone and celebration of some kind. So that is what your love life is culminating in this year. So I'm I'm beginning at the end, and I am just starting with a spoiler, I guess, because it looks like whatever happens this year and whatever challenges you might go through, it does look like you are finally getting to that commitment milestone in your love life. And if you are engaged, or if you get engaged this year, it does look like that does come to fruition by the end of the year, and you are getting married or making some kind of formal commitment by the end of this year. That being said, somebody in this connection is going through a tough time this year with the Five of Pentacles. This is who or what is most significant in your love life. Now, this is not showing up as an external circumstance. We'll get to that in a moment. So I'm not necessarily seeing this as a separate situation. However, it could be that you and your partner are going through a tough time financially, or at the very least, you're going through a tough time with your security in life. You might feel like you're living a life where all of your needs and wants are not being met, like basic needs. You might feel like you're having to make a lot of sacrifices in your life this year. This can also be a card of feeling isolated. So it could be that maybe you're living in a certain place because one of you is going to school or has a job or an internship there, and maybe you feel really isolated there, like you don't really fit in, or just this place is just not suiting you for some reason. So you might feel kind of isolated and maybe even a little bit depressed, or it could be your partner going through that. So that can be a tough thing to go through in a relationship. It's also possible that one of you might be far from your family because of this relationship, or possibly even had a falling out with your family because of this relationship. And so it can just be maybe kind of a little bit of a sad time. It's also possible for some of you that you might go through a period of separation with this person in the year to come. This might be a planned separation where you remain in your relationship, but they just have to go be apart from you for some reason for an extended period of time. It's also possible for some of you that there might be a temporary breakdown in this connection in the year to come. And I don't want to alarm anyone. The future is not set in stone, and these energies can always change. And even if this does happen, I sense that it will only be temporary, and ultimately the two of you will come back together in a really good way. But it is possible that there could be a brief separation between the two of you at some point this year. And if that's the case for you, I feel like that is something that has already kind of been a pattern throughout this relationship, and it's just kind of playing out one last time. But with what's happening in your love life, you have the Temperance card. So I feel like you are resolving differences with this person, or you're resolving differences in your lives. If you're merging your lives together, I feel like you're finding ways to make both of your lives more compatible together. And with the Temperance card, it's about doing what seems impossible. So if it seems like you have a daunting task ahead of you to make this relationship work and to figure out how to bring this all together, with the Temperance card, I wouldn't worry about that. I see that happening. Even if it ends up seeming like a miracle, I think that there's going to end up being a way that the two of you can bring both of your energies together in a really harmonious way. The two of you might be different in a lot of ways. You might come from very different backgrounds. You might just have very different worldviews or just lead very different lifestyles. But I sense that your two energies are actually very complementary and go really well together, even though it might look on the surface like they wouldn't be compatible. But I think you are actually very compatible. And what's happening this year is that the two of you are actually really mellowing each other out. And anywhere that like one of you tends to be at a certain extreme and maybe the other person tends to be at the opposite extreme, I feel like you're really kind of soothing each other's extreme tendencies, and you're really kind of bringing a lot of balance to both of your lives. Temperance is a healing card, so there could be a lot of healing happening in this connection this year, especially if there has been a history of this connection being on again, off again, or if this connection has faced a lot of challenges. I feel like this is going to be a year when you both can heal from a lot of that. And finally, Temperance is the card of divine timing. So whatever is happening in your love life this year, there is divine timing at play. And this kind of goes back to that message about surrender, because there are probably going to be a lot of times this year when you both just have to trust in divine timing. And it's necessary to trust that things are going to happen as they're meant to happen. But I do see the two of you resolving differences this year and healing your connection so that you can come together in a harmonious way. The Son of Swords can represent an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. This is your external circumstances that are affecting your love life. I'm getting an impression that this is someone's brother, especially a younger brother, or at the very least, a brother who is less mature. It could also be a friend who is like a brother, but this would be someone that there is a lot of closeness with and probably a lot of history as well. But I'm really getting like a little brother impression off this card. This is a general reading, and I will get into a more general interpretation of this card in just a moment, so bear with me. But this is just a really specific message that's coming through for some of you. Someone's younger brother seems to be playing a really prominent role this year, and it's affecting your love life. I almost feel like, I don't know if this person approves of your connection. For some of you, you're like, there might be a brother who doesn't approve of your connection, but I'm really just more getting the sense that this brother figure is more neutral toward your connection, but they are unintentionally creating an obstacle for your connection. Like if one of the people in this connection is having to devote a lot of like time and energy and attention to taking care of their younger brother in some way, it could create an obstacle to this connection. I feel like this person, this younger brother person, might have a lot of drama in their life. They might be a partier. They might have a tendency to get in trouble. And their sibling who is in this connection, whichever one of you it is, has a tendency to be the one to bail them out or try to keep them out of trouble or what have you. And so it could be that this brother isn't trying to create problems in this relationship, but they are kind of throwing things off balance. And that is something that someone in this connection is going to have to make peace with, is the fact that they can't necessarily party with their little brother like they used to. And that they have to kind of let their brother learn from their mistakes and sometimes face the consequences of their choices and their actions, and they're not always going to be able to be there for them as they both get older and have their own lives. So this might have been that temptation energy that was coming up at the beginning of your reading. For some of you, it might be in the form of a brother or a male friend who is kind of wanting to keep one of the people in this connection involved in kind of like a party scene or a lifestyle of getting in a lot of trouble. And that is something that is going to have to be reckoned with in this relationship. But I do think that it is going to resolve in a peaceful way. Okay, so that's all I'll say about the possibility that this could be a brother. So getting more general now, since this is a general reading, thank you for bearing with me. In a more general sense, this could be anyone who is either intentionally or unintentionally interfering with this connection. Because this is the Son of Swords, this is usually a less mature person. This could be someone who just has a tendency to be very brash, to be very impulsive, maybe to get into arguments easily, or to come across as more abrasive, whether they mean to or not. They might speak their mind in a way that is very blunt. This could even be a classmate or a coworker or a colleague, and it seems like one person in this relationship is either friends with this person or they're involved with this person because of their studies or their job, something like that. And so the other person, I'm trying to keep this broad because it could go either way, but the other person has to interact with this person because of their significant other. I hope that makes sense. So it's like you might be having to interact with this person because your significant other is in class with them or is friends with them or something like that. And this could just be kind of a difficult person. This could be someone who comes on very strong. They might demand a fair amount of attention from you or your partner. They might be very opinionated, and some of their opinions could relate to your relationship. It could be a different family member for one of you, or again, just someone that you encounter. But yeah, it seems like there's this really like strong opinionated energy coming at your relationship super hard from the outside. And it's also, again, possible that this person is just really impulsive and that they bring a fair amount of drama into your life and they get in trouble a lot or they create trouble a lot. For a very small number of you, this Son of Swords could be someone who is interested in you. I specifically feel like they might be interested in you. And I don't necessarily feel like you reciprocate their feelings. It seems like they come on really strong and you see right through them, but nonetheless, that could create complications for your relationship. I'm also getting a message that for some of you, this Son of Swords person is urgently trying to tell you something about the person that you're in a relationship with. And this is really going to vary in terms of what this person's intentions are when they share this with you. So I'm just going to leave that up to your discernment in your own situation. But for some of you, I think that this person tells you something about your partner and it is true. Like what they tell you is true. And you might already know it, but you might just be upset that somebody else knows it because you might have thought that it was private. Or it could be that you didn't know it and it is true, but it still doesn't necessarily mean that this person had good intentions. And they might not have bad intentions, but they might just have like self-serving intentions a little bit, even if there is a part of them that cares about you maybe and is maybe trying to help you. I still feel like they have their own personal motives as well. So that's important to keep in mind. Okay, I'm really curious to see if this Son of Swords is coming at you with some kind of information or making some kind of claim. What is it that they are Oh, what is it they're saying? So you have the Devil in reverse. What else is coming from this Son of Swords person? Okay, you have Judgment and you have the Nine of Wands in reverse. Okay, so I feel like this person is trying to say, in some instances, they're trying to say that one of you is holding the other back from having a good time. This could be the case if there's like kind of a party culture that is affecting things in your relationship. For others of you, it could just be that they're saying that one of you is causing the other one to be no fun because basically the other person is not paying as much attention to them probably as they think they should be because of their relationship with you. But yeah, trying to portray it as if one of you is like too controlling of the other maybe. And these might be two separate situations. Like some of this might apply to some of you and not others. But another claim that's coming up is that one of you is holding the other back from what you're trying to achieve. Like, oh, they're just distracting you. They're just holding you back. And finally, this Judgment card, I feel like this is coming through a little more literally where this person is being judgy. And that's not the traditional interpretation of this card, but I really get the sense that this person is pushing their own agenda. So they're basically saying, well, this person is holding you back in some way, so you should do what I think you should do. And that might be that they think that you should be with them and give them a chance, or it could be that they are wanting you to, for some of you, I'm really getting the sense that like they're wanting you to participate in something with them, or this could be your partner, like they're wanting your partner to participate in a project or something with them. Like they're wanting more of either your time or your partner's time, and so they're pushing their own agenda and they're trying to convince you that one of you is just holding the other one back, or that one of you is like unfairly preventing the other one from living their life or something like that. And for some of you, this person might tell you about things that your partner has been doing that you don't know about. Like maybe they've been drinking more than you realize or using more substances than you realize. And maybe there have been times when your partner has gone out with their classmates or their colleagues when you didn't know about it. And so this person might try to leverage that in order to make you upset, basically. Or they might be telling you that your partner isn't necessarily putting in the like focus and concentration that they need to. And it's like they're trying to cause friction between you and your partner. And again, it could be that what they're saying is true, but just keep in mind that they're saying it with ulterior motives. And so keep in mind that this is something that just needs to be worked through between you and your partner, and this person really should be left out of it as much as possible because, again, they definitely have their own personal motives for bringing these things to your attention. But the two of you need to address that and heal it together. And with this Temperance card, this can be a card of like mediation. But this Son of Swords person is not the person that you need as a mediator. They do not strike me as a good mediator at all. So please do not let this Son of Swords person meddle in your love life any more than you can control, because they are not a good person to be a mediator. And they might try to present themselves that way. They might try to present themselves like, oh, well, I just want what's best and I just want to help you and all that kind of stuff. And maybe they do really believe that when they say it, but they are not well suited to help you. I can tell you that just from the energy that I'm getting off these cards. So whatever this is, if it's something that you need to work through with your person, I feel like the two of you need to work through it either on your own or with a completely neutral person, like mediator, who doesn't know either of you. So take that as it resonates and just take it how it applies. But yeah, there might be some truth that comes to light this year that affects your relationship, possibly something regarding your person, maybe something from their past, maybe something that is kind of a misunderstanding, but still something that needs to be addressed. I do see the two of you ultimately working through that, even if you might go through like a painful period that feels very isolating. I see you ultimately working through that and being able to come back together from that and healing a lot from that. And again, by the end of the year, your relationship is going to be in a really good place, and you are going to move forward with whatever plans and commitments you had in mind this year. So whatever happens this year, I would say take it as it comes and be accepting, be willing to mediate and approach things in a very fair and balanced way. And I think that this year will actually bring you to a really good place. And there's a lot of healing that's going to happen this year that really needs to happen, because you'll both be better off once that healing has happened. But the healing process might not always be easy, and it might have its own challenges. But I do see you getting through that and ending this year on a very celebratory note with your person. And I see your relationship being in a really strong place and hitting a really important milestone by the end of this year. So I'm going to leave your reading here, group 3. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope that this will be helpful for you in your year ahead. I really appreciate having you here on my channel, and I hope I will see you at your next reading. Happy New Year.